Okay, hello Futex traders, and welcome to this third part of the Price Ladder Introduction Module 1. We'll be going through how to set up your Price Ladder Workspace. So, the first aspect that I want to talk about obviously is what do we use a price ladder for? Obviously, the price ladder is a way to read what the market is currently doing, how the market's currently interacting with each other. So we use the price ladder to digest market interactions. And of course, we also use it to execute trades, which is obviously the most important part. So we use it to read what the market's doing, how the buyers and sellers are interacting, and then we use it to execute our trades. So obviously, to set up our workspace, we want to make sure that we're making the price ladder, and this is obviously all within the context of a discretionary trader. We're not looking at this from an aspect of systematic trading or system building, algorithmic trading, long-term macro style. This is all within the context of a intraday discretionary trader. And the way he or she uses his price ladder depends obviously on that, and that is the primary factor. But he or she needs to digest many different information sources. Now, what we're going to just show you here is the various data inputs for a trader to put in to make his trades. So the focal point that we just want to discuss is obviously the price ladder, which is where we execute. And the information that we gain from, for example, our fundamentals on general fundamentals, reading up on the macro aspects of how the markets are moving. We have to get a sort of feel for the fundamentals. So there's got to be somewhere where we can read our fundamentals. And I'm just talking now from a more how to set up your actual workstation, your trading desk. So we need somewhere to read our fundamentals, and that is going to be, our articles, etc. We also need somewhere to make our technical decisions, our technical trading decisions. So that is going to involve our charts, our candlestick charts, our market profile charts, etc. And then finally, a very important part is if you are a news trader, again, it's to do with the fundamentals, but it's more instantaneous fundamentals, things that change very quickly. You're going to need somewhere to digest information, your news and data feed. And obviously that is going to be either your Reuters, your Bloomberg terminals. So around the price ladder, you want to obviously the price ladder. The main point I'm trying to make here is your price ladder is going to be your focal point, and it should be the center of your charting space. And then around it, you can set up where you can read your fundamentals, where you can read instantaneous news feeds, anything that's changing in the market. If there's a headline, some sort of geopolitical risk, anything of the sort needs to be very close to your price ladder. And then obviously your technicals. Now, if you'll notice the instantaneous stuff, the stuff that where you actually need to be very quick. If you look at any one of the traders' desks at Futex, the ones that trade fundamentals, data or news feed events, they tend to have their news feeds very, very close to the main markets they trade, and I'll just go through that in a second. But first of all, let me just quickly show you how I would theoretically set up, for example, my price ladder, or just general my workstation, where I actually put my screens, or how I would set it up. It really depends. From person to person, it's going to vary. Obviously, depends on what type of trading you're comfortable with, how many screens you need to deploy to trade. Um, but if I just draw something rough for you guys, for example, I've got my price ladder screen central focal point. I've got a screen again. Left is another price ladder screen. Top left screen is charts, newsfeed, charts, internet PC. So if we just go through this, I have my price ladders here. Again, I have my price ladders here as well. So it's price ladder 1, price ladder 2. But you will notice this is my main markets. These are sort of my peripheral markets. And on top, I've got my news feeds. So any information, if a headline, let's say a red Bloomberg headline just pops up in here, and I read that headline, and it says, for example, the ECB cut rates, for example, I will have in the center usually my main markets. For example, let's say if I had the Bund, I would have my Bund ladder, let's say quite central. I could hit market. If I read that, my eye can move straight away down. I can hit market and trade that news event fairly quickly. Now in my top left and right, I've got my charts. So charts. And here I've got my internet PC, which is the longer term fundamentals. I read the overnight news. I read the general news that's in the marketplace. So this is typically what you find is the traders that trade discretionary and on an intraday basis are going to be looking and having their price ladders set up right in the center of their workstation. Now, if we were to actually take a look at what that workstation would look like, just bear with me for a second. I'll show you. This is what a typical workstation would look like. Obviously, I've done this and made it really quite efficient. I actually have a lot more ladders on my screen, but I'm only recording a certain part of or area on my actual screen here. So let's just, for example, if I had my main market, which is the German Bund, in the center. So I've got my Bunds in the center. I've got my Euro USD on the left, and I've got my Euro Stocks 50 on the right. So I've got my bonds, FX, equities. Just very simply, I would usually have my commodities as well on the same desk. But what's important to note is if the Bund, the German 10-year Bund, is my main market, I have it in the center. So I have my main market center. It's my focal point. It's my focal point, my focal area. This is where I'm paying attention to the price ladder, the price action the most. I have, let's say, my secondary market to the right, and let's say my other market to the left, another second or tertiary market on my left. But the most important thing is, from a news feed perspective, my news feed is actually going to be directly above. So if my headlines are appearing above, I can read the headlines and then execute straight on the price ladder straight away. And it's something quite small that a lot of the discretionary traders um, keep in mind, and they have that set up, and it's very important to them. But most retail traders wouldn't actually consider this. They wouldn't actually think that far ahead because you're trading on the price ladder, and because you have that advantage of hitting the market straight away. You can see the price you're trading. There's no particular spread, as in spread bets. You can see exactly what's trading at each price. You can hit the market as soon as you read a headline and execute at each individual price. So that's typically how a trader would set up their price ladders. Here, you would also typically see a risk window. So this is my risk window. This is obviously very much minimized, but if you were to, let's say, open that risk window up, you could see there's a few different metrics. Um, so that's the account. That is the P&L. As you can see, it's currently reading down 296, almost 300 euros. The amount of round trips done, then it actually gives you the margin. Let's say if you took a position in the market, as I just took a position in the Euro stocks, right there, I'm long 32.27. It actually give you the margin required for those 5 lots. And then you can see if you expand that, it shows you the individually each contract, let's say. So net position 5 lots, my P&L on that product. If I were to, let's say, take a position in the euro now, it's opened up a new position. My net position, as you can see, shows up in there as -5. My net position in the euro stocks is +5, so I'm long here, I'm short here. This is the P&L for the euro stocks. This is the P&L for the euro FX. Not doing so well at the minute, but obviously these are just for the sake of showing you guys. Not like it would be any better. In any case, that would be your typical risk window. You have your risk window open to see how you're currently trading on the day with regards to risk. Then it's quite important to show you guys the order book. The order book shows you, let me just open that up. So it depends on what you want to see. If, let's say, if I just put all the orders that are going through, it'll show me, for example, as you can see in here, that recent sell order, the Euro FX, the exchange, sell side, it will show you either buy or sell, the fill price, the average fill price, the price, again, fill price in there. That's the average fill price, is the fill price, your total quantity traded, your filled quantity, order type, and the status. So for example, if I were to just go back and on my quick, if I just go to the left here, it's a quick filter. Quick filter that opens up, I can just put completed only. If I clicked completed only, that would basically just show me all the orders that were actually filled. And likewise, if I would do the same thing again, go over to the left, close my completed only, put cancelled only, that'll show me all the orders that I've actually cancelled. So usually that's the kind of information you'd like to see. If let's say you just wanted to see your active orders, I don't currently have any active orders in the marketplace, but if I were to put, let's say, a bid here at 77 in the euro, if I just open that up, you can see it just showed me that I've got an active order, Euro FX, active for 5 lots, and can't currently see the price, but if I were to open this column up just a little bit, again, you can see here it shows me that the price that I currently have that resting order at is at a 11,377. So that's typically what you'd find on a Price Ladder Workspace. Obviously, this is very, very simplified. Usually, you'd find a lot more ladders on a screen just to get a little bit more information, but your bigger price ladders, your main markets are bigger. The ones that I don't trade, for example, I just completely toggle the sidebar, would completely take the sidebar out. I don't need to waste that. You have to make your price ladder workstation as efficient as possible. So if you're not trading, if you're trading just the bonds, for example, and you're not trading these markets, I would just toggle these, make them a lot smaller, because I don't need that. I don't need to take up that space. I would scrunch that in, and possibly, if I scrunch this down enough, I can add in an extra ladder in there. So it's all about being efficient with how you're using your price ladder workspace and how much information you can absorb all at once. Okay, thank you very much for listening for this Module 1 introduction. In the second introduction, Part 2, we'll be going through some of the benefits of the price ladder, looking at some of the order execution types, some of the trading term lingo, and wrap up for the introduction where we start actually looking at how we can use the price ladder to trade with. Thank you very much.